sudden fear has left me trembling, 'cause now it seems that I am out here on my own, and I'm feeling so alone. Pay attention to the cracked streets and the broken homes. Some call it slum, some call it nights. I wanna take you through a wasteland I like to call my own. Welcome to paradise. A gunshot rings out at the station. Another urchin snaps and left dead on his own. It makes me wonder why I'm still here. For some strange reason it's now feeling like my home, and I'm never gonna go. Pay attention to the cracked streets and the broken homes. Some call it some call it nights. I wanna take you through a wasteland I like to call my own. Welcome to paradise. Welcome to paradise.
Hey now, Matt LaBarber Music here. Today we are talking about Welcome to Paradise by Greenday. And I am not ashamed to admit to you that this was one of the more difficult ones that I've done so far. Mostly because it's very fast, and also because I am more of a fingerstyle player, and this is more of a picker song. So I had to readjust my mindset and my playing. But fortunately, I have my trusty LaBarber, the album Clayton custom pick here that I use, pretty often, but not as often as my fingers. One thing I will tell you is that any song like this that has challenging parts that are too fast, what I often do is I'll start out very, very slowly with the metronome and then gradually increase the speed until I get up to song tempo before I even attempt to record it. So, for example, that lick that's in the middle, the breakdown part, which I'll break down for you when we zoom in, I started out really slow, about that tempo. And then I would gradually increase the speed until I could nail it. So before we get into anything else, please take a second, if you haven't already, to like and subscribe to my channel, and share these videos with anyone that you think might be helped by it. Another thing before we zoom in is this song is tuned down a half a step. Okay, and what that means is that depending on your tuner, mine only goes in sharps. So instead of my strings being E, A, D, and G, I had to tune all of the strings down one half of a step. So it's D sharp, G sharp, C sharp, and F sharp. So a lot of times you'll see that in tabs. It'll say song is in E flat tuning. That's what they mean. E flat and D sharp are the same. So there are really only a couple of parts to this tune. There's the intro part, the verse, the chorus, the breakdown, and just a few little licks that you do over those things that change. So I'd say it's a good time for us to zoom in and we'll talk about the parts, okay? All right, so let's break it down. This song has a couple of different parts. One is there's this intro that kind of repeats in between sections, right? So we're going to play the 5th fret on the A string, and I'm going to hammer on to 7. And I'm going to repeat that 7 again. So, and I'm going to go from the 5th fret on A to the 7th fret on D. And then I go up to the 5th fret on the E string. Now in between those notes, sometimes I will play an open string. So what I mean by that is I'm going to go right, and those are ghost notes. Those aren't really pronounced. That's why I didn't number them. But you'll hear here's without and here's with. Okay, so you definitely want to include those in there if you can. And depending on the part of the song, you'll be able to tell it's either 2 times or 4 times that they're doing this. In the beginning, it's, you know, kind of guitar by itself, and then the drums, and then the bass comes in with that riff. Okay, and then let me do that again real slow, and I'll show you the verse. And then when we play the verse, there's 2 variations, okay? He's either going to start by using the 7 on the A string and the 5 on the A string, and then we go 7, and there's that little rhythm where he just hangs on the 7 but plays it da 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 da. Okay, so I'll show you what that is one more time. So 7, okay, that would be the first time around in any cycle of the verse. The second time around, he'll do that same thing, but with this little fill in between. So I'm going to go 5 and 4 on the D string. So instead of, I'm going to go, and then I'm going to go 4, 5, 4 on the D string. And a little slide from 5 to 7 on the A. So this is with the fill. Okay, again, it's either going to be this one or this one. Okay, and then the next time around, it'll have the fill in there, okay? So I'll do the fill. But instead of going up to the 7th fret on the A, I'm going to go to the 3rd fret on the E string. And you'll see I usually will slide up to the 7th fret on the E, but sometimes I will go to the 2nd fret on the A. It's the same note. It depends on what I'm going to next. So I know that might be confusing, but I'll just show you this way, but if you catch me doing it the other way, it's because they're the same note. So here again are the parts. I'm on 3. Okay, or okay, and for those of you keeping score, that is G to B. You might hear me say that again. So this is a B, and so is this. So the first time that it does that, it'll go G, B, and then go back into this riff. And then the second time around where you'll do that, then I'll repeat that same set of notes. But we hold that even longer, okay? So and really what he'll do is he'll throw in this little riff again, the 4-5-4, 4-5-4 and 5. Okay, before we go to the chorus. So I'll show you what that sounds like. Ta-da! Now we've made our way up to the chorus. The chorus is pretty simple. For the most part, we're playing an open E, then 3rd fret on the E, open A, and then 3rd fret on the A. And then you'll see, before I repeat it, I just throw in, 2 beats on that 5th fret of the A string. So hopefully that makes sense. So da 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 da. And now the next part of the chorus, it starts on that open E again, but then it ends on this 2nd fret of the A string and that little fill. Then another set of riffs. So I'll show you again from the beginning. Here's part 1. Here's part 2. All right, and here's the 3rd part. Starts the same. Open E, open A, and then we're going to go open E, and then I go to the 7th fret on the E string and just hit it once. And that's the Welcome to Paradise, okay? So, I'm going to play that whole thing one time through. welcome to, and then there is that little intro riff again. Okay? How y'all doing so far? Great. So then there's another verse and another chorus before the breakdown. Very similar things. You'll see I don't really change very much. But before the breakdown, instead of doing this twice, there's 4 of them. And now we'll talk about the breakdown. Break down the breakdown. Okay. Not that hard note-wise, but very hard speed-wise. So I'll show you the tricks that I did to make it work out. But again, like I said, I started out very slowly and just ramped it up with the metronome. So I'm doing the 7th fret on the A string. Then I'm going to do a hammer-on between 7 and 9 on the D. Okay, so it's really 1 E and a, 2 E and a, or I say mashed potato, mashed potato. Okay, and then I'm going up to the 10th fret on the A string, and then the 9th fret on the D. Then I go 9 on A, 8 on the D. Then 8 on the A, 7 on the D. So I'm going to put it all together. Oops, don't do that. And then at the very end, again with the 7 and 9. So very, very slowly. Now sometimes you'll see me do where I'll throw in an open string, and that's, again, it's just in the interest of speed and time and rhythm, right? Because he does that too. So do you hear that ghost note instead of going? Right? So again, I didn't start out that fast. I started out very, very slow. And you'll see that sometimes I'll vary that pattern. I mean, if you were to break it down really slow and watch me, I couldn't even tell you what I did every time because it's sort of in the heat of the moment and it happens like 20 something times in a row and it's very fast. So you'll see I just showed you all the variations. Really, essentially, it's about whatever works for you. Okay? And there's one more thing, which is during, there's another verse and another chorus. And then during the end of the song, we go back to this riff, and there's 4 of those, but on the second one he does this cool little riff, and I made sure to include it in case you were curious. Okay, so now I'm going to do on the second one of these, I'm going up to this, the octave here on the 7 and the 9 of the D string. And I go back to the 7. So 7 and 9, back to 7, 9 on the D, 7 on the D, or I mean on the G, and then I go 9, 7, 9, 8, 7 on the D string. That's a lot easier to play than it is to talk about. So I'll show you again in real time, and then I'll slow it down. Okay, and now here's the slow version. And here's a slower version. And again, now I'm going to put it into the riff itself. So here's the outro, 4 of these. And here's the second one. And back to. And the last one just goes. Hard stop on that 7. So that should be everything. Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. MattLaBarberMusic.com. Please like and subscribe and share with anyone that you think might be interested. And check out some of the other stuff I have on my page. If you enjoyed this, I'm sure there's something else that you'll enjoy. So thanks again. Happy bassin', and I'll see you soon.